Good day, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I am doing an off-the-cuff devotional with you all. And this is totally unplanned, so come on along and hopefully you will get blessed. This is just me talking about a testimony, sharing some of my private issues that I've had in the past that God has delivered me from, some different things of that nature. And I'm just hoping that maybe somebody will be blessed by it, because, you know, we just don't know what other people are going through, and we're always going through something. So stay tuned and be blessed. Hey there, everybody. What's going on? I just wanted to hop on here and do a little bit of a devotional. And I opened up to this. And this is called Jesus, Our Perfect Home, 365 Devotions by Charles Stanley. It's a lovely book. I've shared this with you guys so many times before. And I decided to pick it up and open it. And when I did, I opened up to January 6th, which is my wedding anniversary. And so I said, okay, you know, let's see what it has to say. And it said, truth in profound places. And I didn't know where this was going. And it says, behold, you desire truth in the innermost I was going to say innermost parts, but innermost being. And in the hidden part, you will make me know wisdom. Psalm 51:6. And I'm like, okay. And so I start reading, and this is what I'm going to share with you. This is kind of like a little bit of a testimony, a personal thing. Sometimes our most enduring childhood memories are formed when we feel lonely and fearful. For example, my first memory is from when I was 2 years old. I had an earache and my mother was at work, and I felt miserably alone with no one to comfort me. Such experiences make an impact on our young hearts, at times creating wounds that have a profound influence on unanticipated areas of our lives. Whether we realize it or not, they ingrain certain survival instincts within us. And often our pervasive feelings of anxiety, loneliness, unworthiness, and anger, as well as our needs for self-reliance and control, can be traced back to those early ordeals. But these are the wounds that we must overcome if we are to experience the fullness of the life Jesus has made available to us. So today, now this is what got me, y'all. So today, pay attention to the early memories that you have. Seek God to make sense of them for you, and ask Him how they impact the trials you're facing today and why you're responding to them as you are. Then trust Him to heal those areas of your life in the way only He can. Now, I am going to give my little testimony here, y'all. Wow. I know I've read this before. I know I have. Have you ever read the Bible and you would get a revelation over something? You learned something. And then you go back and you read that same Bible verse again months later, maybe even years later, and you get a whole different revelation than what you did the first time that you read it. And that's what happened to me with this, because I know I have read this before, may have even made a video of it, whatever. But lately, And it started a few years ago, but it started to intensify and become more frequent. And I started noticing a pattern. I was noticing, you know, Jesus, you're speaking to me. You are speaking to me about things that I kind of like forgotten about. You're bringing up old memories, because there's some things that you want me to deal with that I didn't even know I needed to deal with. And it's been happening more and more often. Puzzle pieces are fitting together. And without getting into too much of my personal business, it's like in my childhood, I was treated very badly. Children had no value. Okay, they did not. And you were constantly reminded of that you had no value. Okay, and that you are to just be seen and not heard, and it's all about the adults, and they can say and do whatever they want, but you can't. Even if you see them doing wrong, and if you try to correct them or tell them something that they tried to teach you, you get chastised. And like, it's do as I say, but don't do as I do. And there was a particular person in my life that made me feel like my presence was unbearable for them. They hated to have me around. And I could tell. I could sense it. You can sense when someone doesn't like you and when they don't want you around. And if you try, and, you know, and this is as a child, like elementary school stuff, you know, elementary age and older, but, and then you try to force them to like you. You know, you try to do things and say things to make your presence welcome, and it's nothing, and it doesn't work. It's you're not received. Okay. And it's just best for you to just walk away. Just walk away, go somewhere else where you're not seen and you're not heard. And you try to figure out, why is it that they don't like me? Why are they feel this way toward me? And you just can't, it's unbearable. And then you get older, and I mean, like, you get many, many years older, and God begins to reveal to you things that you had no idea were the case. And you find yourself treating someone else the way that you were treated. And you didn't do it on purpose. It was just something that Jesus showed you. This is me, you know, he showed me rather. And it was like, what you saw in this person is exactly what someone else saw in you. And the same reasons why they didn't want you around is the same reasons why you don't feel comfortable having this person around. You know, and it's like, even though this was years and years ago, and even though, you know, some of the circumstances were different, God was showing me that this is why you act the way that you act in certain scenarios, in certain situations. This is why you feel this way about this person or about this situation. And it all stems to what was done to you as a child. Like, for one example, another example is someone is caring for you and they don't want to care for you, but they kind of got caught in something and they're caring for you. And they are going through perimenopause. And back then there was there was just not a lot available or known of, or whatever the case may be. And so this woman is just given some birth control pills, but she's still smoking, and she's still drinking, and she's still getting drunk, and she's gaining a lot of weight, and she's treating you really, really bad, and she's treating other people really, really bad. And you could never make sense of it. Why is this person treating me this way? You know, why are they so miserable? Why are they constantly drinking? Why do they always act like they're so unhappy with their life? You know, and then I would have intrusive thoughts, you know, like I wish this person was dead, you know, and I would think up ways that, you know, they could expire, you know, and it was just crazy, you know. And it's like, but you know, you're a kid. There's nothing you can do. You just have to deal with it. And they begin to just put scars on you, emotional, mental scars that only Christ can heal or undo or whatever, right? And then you get older, and then you experience perimenopause, and you experience, you know, the misery and the pain and the emotional instabilities that they experienced, the brain fog, the grumpiness, the mood swings. And you're like, wow, what a horrible time to be in the presence of a child who is, you know, in elementary school, about to go to middle school. What a terrible time to be in the presence of a child, that, especially one that isn't even yours. And you were miserable. There wasn't a lot of help available. And you had to work, cook, clean, drive. You had aunts and uncles that you had to take care of. And you had, you know, what was your outlet? Alcohol, cigarettes. You know, you were miserable, and you treated everyone else miserable because you were having a really bad case of perimenopause. You were always skinny, and you were always small, and now all of a sudden you're plump and you're miserable. And it's like, wow, you know, that explains a lot of things, you know. And it's like, the closer I have gotten to Jesus Christ, and it has been a journey. He has just so lovingly revealed so much to me about my life and about why I went through the things that I went through. And, you know, and it makes it easier for me to forgive. It makes it easier for me to, you know, it just makes it easier for me to understand why things were the way that they were for me. And it seemed like I could go across the street and it's the Brady Bunch, you know. And it's like, I'm just so grateful to Jesus, you know. And I just want to say that I encourage you all, the closer you get to Jesus, the more he will reveal the truth. I mean, like this says, truth in profound places. And I know that I have read this before, and I just don't remember getting this exact revelation from it. And, you know, my husband, he had a really bad situation when he was a child. And he could not understand why someone would treat him so poorly, not knowing that he was not welcomed, never realizing that he was also not welcomed. We don't want you here. We don't like you being here. You are, you know, an inconvenience. You are an insult to injury. Just your presence. And I don't want to see you succeed. I don't want to see you do better than me, because I am so miserable. I'm tired of seeing other people succeed, supersede me in things. And now, you know, it's like I can't even handle to see you do better than me. And I'm not going to help you to be a better person in life. I'm not going to help you to, you know, grow in life, because I am filled with so much bitter and so much anger and so much jealousy, because I've sacrificed so much of myself for other people, and I'm left with nothing. And I am not going to help you have a better life than I have, you know. And it's like, wow, you know, and you wonder, why am I treated this way? Why am I so undesirable? You know, and then you're constantly being told, you know, you're this, you're that, you're not adequate, you're not this, you're every flaw that you could possibly have, that they planted in the seed that they planted, you know, is brought up in your face. And then as soon as you try to become someone, and you try to pick up broken pieces, take that lemon and make lemonade, you're criticized for it. Criticized for trying to be a better person, you know. And it's like, wow. Joyce Meyer was not lying when she said that hurt people hurt people. It's you cannot treat other people good if you are so endowed with bitterness, anger, resentment, jealousy. I'm talking about the nasty stuff, you know, the nasty stuff, you know. And it's crazy. It's just crazy. And I'm so grateful to God, y'all, because he has brought me so much closure and so much peace these past few years. And I can finally exhale about so many things. I finally have lifelong questions answered. There's really not much of anything that is left open with me. I am like literally in a place now where I can fully exhale, because I understand so many things that I did not understand in the past about just my whole life, period, you know. And now that I understand things, I know what to do, what not to do, where to go, where not to go. And I trust Jesus in every scenario, in every situation. And this right here about pay attention to your early memories that you have. You know, God will help you to make sense of things. He will bring clarity to you. He will bring things to your remembrance just so you can pray and talk to him about it. And through that prayer, he will speak to you and reveal to you and just help you to sort it out in your head. And you know it's Jesus. You know it's him. And then you give him all the glory and the honor and the praise. And it's like, you know, there's just so much going on in the world, and it's insane. And, you know, a lot of people blame my generation for our kids not coming up right, because our kids aren't raising their kids right. And it's this domino effect, you know. And it's sad, but it's a true thing. It's an incredibly true thing. So if this resonates with you, if this is familiar with you, if you've had a lot of unanswered questions in your life, and you notice that since you've gotten closer to the Lord, he's been revealing a lot of things to you, that is wonderful, because he is bringing closure in your life. And I know that we all are subject to that in some way or another. The next one that I opened up to after that, because I wanted more, was stop shifting blame. It says, when I refused to confess my sin, my body wasted away, and I groaned all day long. Like, wow. And okay, where is this going? It is human nature to deflect responsibility for the things that we do wrong. And we see it as early as the Garden of Eden. When Adam said, the woman that you gave me, she gave me that fruit to eat from the tree, you know, that I ate. However, blaming someone else for our sins, though perhaps making us feel better temporarily, does nothing but damage our relationship with God and increase our woundedness. Our Heavenly Father is calling out, stop doing this. It's destroying you. And we're hiding behind excuses. They hurt me. I'm justified in hurting myself. Do you see the problem? God is calling you away from sin so you can experience the fullness of the life for which He created you. Not to shame you or make you feel worthless, but so you can enjoy His abundant purpose and peace. So stop hiding behind others and focus on Jesus. Agree with what He says. He is pointing out your sins to liberate you from them. So cease looking for people to blame and start walking in His freedom. Good night, Irene. If that did not correlate with what we were just talking about, and I flipped to it. So it's like, you know what? I used to be that way. I used to be that way. Praise God Almighty that I am not like that anymore, because He revealed so many things to him. I used to do this. I used to be mad at Eve. And when I was really young, I would say Eve messed it up for all of us, because of her, we all got to deal with this crap, you know. And I remember an adult, well, someone that was older than me, because I was like probably in my 20s and stuff. And they said, do you know that in heaven, Eve is hidden away in a secret place in heaven because she has to be protected, because she was the one who, you know, put the sin on us. And so God, the Father, He hides Eve. Eve is in a hidden place in heaven where no one can get her. And I would always say, when I get to heaven, I'm going to say this and say that. I'm going to have it out with Eve. I'm so pissed off at Eve. Because of Eve, we females got to go through this, and this. If it wasn't for Eve, you know, blah, blah, blah. I was young, y'all. I was young, you know. And then I started getting into ministry and I started growing in the Lord. And even then, I still had an exceptionally long way to go, because, you know, if you noticed, poo-poo didn't hit the fan until Adam, who He put in charge. That's when the punishment came, when Adam. If Adam had said, no, we're not supposed to, shame on you for doing this, maybe things would have went a different way. But Adam was in charge. And, you know, and it was just so crazy that people, that this person had told me that they had really believed it. They really believed it. Like we're going to go to heaven and see Eve and beat the hell out of her, you know. And it's crazy what we think and say as adults, young adults, you know, it's just crazy. But yeah, I had someone who was in ministry or somebody like that told me stuff like that. And I used to do that. I used to blame everyone that planted bad seed in me, that helped develop my character as a young child. And yeah, they are to blame. No doubt about it. They definitely held a degree of accountability, you know. But I had to grow up and I had to accept my own accountability. you know, especially as God began to reveal things to me. You know, it's like, okay, yeah, you got a raw deal. Yeah, Gary got a raw deal. You know, some really bad seeds were planted into you guys at an extremely young age. I'm talking like, you know, elementary school. But God always has a ram in the bush. It may not be that perfect ram in the bush, but there's always a ram in the bush somewhere. And, you know, he made provisions and ways out. And it's like, and people would say, oh, the reason why you're like that is because this was done to you. You know, you can't help it. That's just who you are, because because of what had happened to you, you know. And those were true statements for me and for Gary. But the closer that we got to God and the healing began, the clarity began, and we were able to realize, you know, no more of the blame game, because now we know who God is in our lives. And we know that God allowed things for a reason and a purpose, and what's last is first and what's first is last. And by doing this, Gary and I were both liberated. I mean, no more crying over things that happened in the past. Remember, I told you guys like a long time ago that me and Gary would just sometimes out of the blue, somebody would start it. You know, like Gary and I have been together for 24 years. We've been married for 24 years. And Gary would just have these nights where he would just bust out crying. And we would just, and I'm like, what's going on? You know, what's wrong, sweetie? You know, and we would just, and he just needed the little boy came out, and the little boy needed comforting. The little boy needed someone to talk them through, you know, and that was how we did it. We would have those types of conversations, and we would both end up crying, you know, because Gary's cousins took care of me, and the apple didn't fall far from the tree, you know. We were both treated really badly as kids, and yeah, we ended up getting married, but we are not blood relation. So it's like,
how are you, Sam?
Good.
Huh?
Good. What you do? All right, so I'm back. So yeah, you know, and it's like Jesus freed us. He liberated us. I used to say I couldn't care less if that woman went to hell when she died. I'd hold the door, the gate of hell open. I'd hold it open so that all of them can walk through it. Every last one of them. But I didn't have to fight my own battles. There are a lot of people that did me wrong, had horrible deaths. I am not lying. I am not lying. Gary will tell you, he has witnessed it. He's like, girl, he's like, I'm scared to do you wrong because God will get me, you know? And it's like, Jesus will avenge you. He will fight your battles. You may or you may not know about it in this life, you know. There are some things that I wonder, did Jesus straighten that out for me, you know? But 99%, I found out the truth, and I found out every last one of them died a horrible death, and I am not lying to y'all. And it's like, wow, Jesus really will fight for you. He really will avenge you. But I'm so grateful that Gary and I both have been delivered from this. And if you are dealing with this, oh my Lord, Jesus is the only one that can break you free of it, because you plead the blood of Jesus over your situation in detail, and surrender you all to him. I cannot stress that enough. And you will just begin to see brick walls break down, you know, and it is so liberating. It is so wonderful to be able to not walk around with anger and bitterness of people who did, you know, really bad things to you. in the past, you know, when you were a child. It is so liberating. And then when Jesus reveals to you what was going on in their life, and it's like, wow, I'm so sorry that you were going through perimenopause and that it was so bad for you. And I'm so sorry that you were stuck with me. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
So, you know, it's like, wow. Before I was willing to hold the gates of hell open for you to walk in, shut them behind you and go on about my business. And now it's like, wow, woman to woman, I'm sorry that you went through what you went through. And I'm sorry that you didn't have the resources that you needed to get proper help. I'm sorry that you dealt with prejudice and racism, and you dealt with, I'm sorry that your mother left you or your father left you when you were a kid. I didn't know that your childhood was horrible too. And it's like now I want to sit down woman to woman and say, hey, wow, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for what happened to you, and I'm sorry that I was a part of your life, you know, but the bitterness, the anger, the hatred, the unforgiveness is all gone, you know, and it's been gone for a long time. But there are these moments where you find yourself dealing with something, and then your mind just goes back to when you were treated a certain way, you know, or you weren't properly cared for health-wise, and so you have health conditions today because of things that weren't taken care of back then. It's very, very, very you know, painful to think about. But once Christ has freed you, oh my gosh, you are really truly free indeed. And it's just, I am just so grateful to Jesus for what he's brought me and Gary through. I really and truly am. And it's like, you know, I never would have wanted to marry him. He was never my type. I was never his type. You know, we were far from interested in each other. It's like 1,000,001 reasons why, you know, and who would ever think that we would end up together and then be together for 24 years, 24 years strong, highs and lows, ups and downs, you know, but good Lord. But Christ has always been the center of our marriage and our relationship. And that was just powerful. It's like, okay, I know I'm meant to be with you, you know, that type of thing. But this part about they hurt me, I'm justified. But you don't even realize that you're hurting yourself, that you're destroying yourself because you're letting that negative energy fester, and you're giving more energy and power to the enemy. And Jesus wants to set you free from that. He wants to set you free from that. And it's all for you. And it's like, wow, I was walking on hot coals for years, and now I'm walking on pillows, you know. So this thing is real. Jesus is real. And I just wanted to share this with you. This is an off-the-cuff devotional Bible study testimony, you know, that I just want to share with you all. And, you know, I hope that this blesses somebody. If this blesses just one person, then I'm grateful. I am truly grateful, you know. And I gotta tell you, you know, there's a lot of things in life that I wanted that I did not get. And I will not get, not in this life. Point blank, it ain't happening. But the things that I need the most in this life, is what I have. And it carries me to the next, and racking up treasures in heaven that will last for all eternity that's my main objective, is for God's will to and his purpose to be fulfilled in my life. That is what my will is, because all I'm all about is racking up points, crowns, cookies. You call it what you want, but that's my main thing in life, is whatever I can do that will make Jesus smile. You know, I'm not thinking about what treasures I'm racking up, because I don't know what it's going to be. And no mind can conceive what God has for us. I just want to make Jesus smile. I just want to please him. Not because I'm looking for something in return, because I just love him so much. He's my sweetheart. And all I want to do is please him. I want to make him laugh. I want to make him smile. I want him to feel my love for him. That's all I really want. That's all I want. And whatever comes from that, then hooray. And I'll tell y'all, like I told Gary, I don't want to be a person who just made it to heaven at the last minute and be stuck in the lower levels of heaven or in just some paradise place in heaven. I got to be where Jesus is. I'd rather be sitting in the dark at a bus stop, sitting on a bench, holding hands side by side with Jesus, than to be walking along a paradise beach and never get to have a relationship with Jesus at all. Just be in peace at the beach, eating coconuts, living a good life for all eternity, but never, ever, ever get to be in the presence of Jesus. You keep that. I don't want to spend eternity like that. Heck no. I'd rather be where I want to be, where Jesus is. There's fullness of joy in his presence. So if you're sitting in the dark at the bus stop with Jesus, that's better than being laying at the beach with no Jesus.
I just text here.
All right, but why you got to open the door to tell me that? Hold on, y'all. Gary's sick with a cold. All right, peeps. Yeah, Gary's had a crazy shift, y'all. I mean, crazy shifts, crazy stuff going on in the world. And he went to work today, y'all. And he came back home with sore, scratchy throat. I was like, oh my Lord, please don't tell me you got COVID or RSV. And he was like, no, I don't, because there was nobody around me like that. Nobody was coughing and sneezing. He said, I really believe it's the weather changing and where I was at, you know, and my schedule changing like this. He said, I think it just took a toll on me. And I'm like, you ain't got to open the door, come in here and tell me that. To tell me that you called your boss. You know, he's not going to work tomorrow. Good. I get some rest. It's been crazy. And it's like, I don't want to get sick. If you have something to tell me, you do not have to open my door to tell me. Oh, Lord, he's a little boy, y'all. I'm telling you, he's a little boy in uniform. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. And I just hope that what I shared with you all today will bless you. It was off the cuff, and you know, I just wanted to say I just got it off my chest. I just wanted to share it with you. And maybe Jesus led me to do it. You know, I really felt led to do it. And when I say felt, nothing superficial, something real. Like, this will help somebody. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but you know, when it hits me, I move. And so that's what that is. So I'm going to go ahead, y'all. I'm going to end the video here, and I'm going to go and get into this. I look forward to this. But before I do, I got to show you that this is for Cherie. Y'all know my girl, Cherie McGinnis. I love you, Cherie, so much. And yeah, Cherie, I did get your message. And I know you like, you ready for that bag thing. But I'm like, Cherie, you might be disappointed because it is a bag that you already saw. And, but I do have 3 new bags coming up, so stay tuned, you know. But I went ahead and did this in honor of Cherie McGinnis, who loves decorating and her books, all of her books. And you guys know Planning Thing subscription was teacups and books. And I just went ahead and I just did this. And I'm going to write a little gratitude prayer here. And I just decorate. I just decorated. I think you guys can see because I'm sitting down. There's no way I could stand up. But I'm kind of peeking my head up to see the screen so that I can see that you guys, that I'm in frame. So I did that. And I just put some little deco here. And I just thought that the coffee cups were, you know, and I put these little, you know, like a gratitude page. So you get some blank pages that you can just write prayers on. I mean, like, really, I love this book, y'all. You better get this book. You got to get this book, Cherie. And I know Tawana lady, travel lady, I know she getting it. I know my girls gonna get it. We got to stick together on these things. But look at what I did not show you. If you liked reading this book, you may enjoy other titles by Sarah Young. Now, I'm familiar with Jesus Calling. And I'm not familiar with Jesus Lives or Dear Jesus or Jesus Today. I'm sure somebody has it. And then on here also, you have Experience a Deeper Relationship with Jesus through the Jesus Calling app. Wow, check that out, y'all. That's great. I ain't downloading nothing, but I'm just saying. And it says, go deeper with Jesus. The Jesus Always. Oh, my Lord. Discussion guide. This is, love it. And you can download your free copy at JesusCalling.com. You know what I would have titled this book? Always, comma, Jesus. You know why? Because Jesus is speaking to you, right? He's speaking to you. Rejoice in me, beloved, my dove, you know? And then it's just, and then the end of the letter would say, always, Jesus, or love always, comma, Jesus. That's what I would have named this book. Always, comma, Jesus, as the end of the letter instead of Jesus Always. But, you know, that's just probably how she wanted it to do, you know, because she's, you know, but so whatever. But now she has this one right here that I want to show you guys. I hate when the pages do that. It says, when it feels like no one listens, Jesus hears you. So now she has this one called Jesus Listens. So yeah, Jesus Always, Jesus Listens, Jesus Calling. So, okay. And then down here it says, look for these additional Jesus Listens. Down here at the bottom. And then you got this page. So I made that a gratitude, places to write. And then I decorated it. So I had to make it mine. Oh, look at that. In his presence, fullness of joy. You know I love that. So, yes. This book is hard. But it's a nice feel. And it's, you know, but it is hard. I would have preferred, like, leather, you know. But anyway, I'm out of here. I'm done chabbling with you all. But I will see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye.